Attention! This is a call to action for any movie theater managers willing to lose their jobs in the name of anarchy. Swap all showings of this movie with the Taylor Swift concert. I'm not even trying to, culture the Swifties here. I just want the cinephiles to experience real entertainment, alright? Did anybody else see this poster and think, this might be the most pretentious title for a movie ever? Because I definitely thought that until I found out that it's literally about a guy who fell out a window. It's like if Netflix made a One Piece spin-off called The Fall of Kuina. God, I am becoming a nerd. Alright, Samuel Molesky is a simple man, living an unremarkable life with his wife and son somewhere high up in the French Alps. He also has a dog named Snoop, and we see him enjoying the instrumental version of a 50 Cent song. I believe this is what passes for rap fandom among the French, until one day, he's found dead from, And with some glaring inconsistencies between the family's story and the evidence, suspicion quickly centers on foul play, specifically on his wife. This movie won the grand prize at Festival de Cannes, so I guess a bunch of people over there really liked it, but I am here to see whether real people will like it. So, let's get one thing straight right off the bat. This is not a whodunit. I really don't even feel comfortable calling this a thriller. More than anything else, this is a family drama. There are plenty of reveals, but they're more about giving context to the wife and son's relationship rather than heightening any kind of murder mystery. And we're left to decide on our own whether the holes in their story are the result of them deliberately trying to mislead investigators, or just the product of unreliable human memory and honest mistakes. So as the movie goes on, and you see more and more people try to dissect every detail of this case like it's a fucking frog in middle school science class, you start to realize that the exact circumstances of how this man died are not nearly as important as why he died and whether or not his family can deal with it. So I thought that was a very smart way of writing this movie to kind of get across what the filmmaker wanted to get across. 4 out of 5. Justine Triet is the director of this movie. She also co-wrote it with Arthur Harari. Visually, the movie is really beautiful, but not in a heightened Hollywood way. It's more like they really captured the natural beauty of the locations they shot, especially the main house. There are a lot of emotions flying around in there, and depending on the scene, it can feel as warm and cozy or as cold and empty as it needs to. And in the outdoor scenes, not only are the Alps stunning to look at, but they also reinforce just how secluded and lonely this family is. A lot of this movie actually takes place in a courtroom, which I was not expecting, and as methodically satisfying as those lawyerly battles are, the camera makes sure that you remember that the most important thing here is not the minutiae of the arguments, but whether the relationship between the wife and the son will be able to survive all this information coming to light. Yeah, 4 out of 5 on directing. Good shit. Even if French art house movies aren't your thing, I think anybody can agree that acting is where this movie stands out. There wasn't a second where my immersion broke and I didn't feel like a fly on the wall watching real people. The two standouts are easily the wife and son. Sandra Hüller runs through pretty much the entire range of human emotion, and I believed all of it. And Milo Machado Granet? It's French, right? So it's gotta be like Granet, not Grainer. I can't speak for all the subtleties of his French dialogue, but holy shit. This kid has a lot of close-ups, and the emotional depths that he hits are just devastating to watch. He also has a scene towards the end which pretty much forces him to dub over the lines of another character, perfectly matching all the little stutters and imperfections of the way people normally speak. In terms of how they shot it, I don't know who was performance matching who, but either way, it's insanely impressive. Oscar nominations? Probably not gonna happen, let's be real. But if they did, they would deserve it. 5 out of 5 on acting, for sure. It's not like we've never seen murder mysteries or courtroom dramas before, but this movie does have a pretty subversive take on both those genres. It's playing them out, but at the same time, it's basically questioning their relevance. Because we have so many people, all these investigators and lawyers and forensics experts, including us, by the way, but the movie makes it clear that nobody is ever really gonna know what happened as fully and completely as the people who were actually there, and it becomes increasingly apparent that what really happened doesn't fit neatly into a black and white guilty or innocent narrative, and trying to box this family into one is really only hurting them more. So in a time when we get told what's happening in the world a lot more than we actually experience what's happening in the world, it kind of begs you to reevaluate what matters in life a little bit. Like, quit worrying about whether Amber Heard shit on Johnny Depp's bed. Maybe tell your family that you love them. So I found that perspective to be really timely. 4 out of 5. This is one of those movies where you just gotta know what you're getting into. This is not a flashy murder mystery. This is a long, slow, contemplative movie that is really not about murder at all. So if you're setting your expectations based on that, you're already gonna be way better prepared to at least appreciate the movie, if not enjoy the movie, perhaps even be entertained by the movie. That being said, I have seen other long, slow, contemplative movies in the past couple years that have resonated more with me personally. But that doesn't mean it won't click with you maybe better than it clicked with me. So if you're curious, go check it out. Just don't expect to get Benoit Blanc going, inside of this donut is another smaller donut. 3 out of 5. Final score. I think I have done this enough. This is now the 4th time where I think I can guess what the score is going to be. Let's see if I'm right. Yes! A nice, round, even 4 out of 5. I think that is accurate. I fully intellectually recognize that this is a very good movie. I'm not sure that I personally found this to be the most memorable movie. As we get further into awards season here, favorite time, it remains to be seen how this is going to stack up against everything else. Amongst, the actual Oscar contention, and also just amongst my personal enjoyment. So yeah, that was my review of Anatomy of a Fall. I actually do know what I'm going to review next week for the first time, because we got Killers of the Flower Moon coming out, baby. Get your tickets now, because shit's almost full already. So yeah, see you back then reviewing another movie. Peace out, y'all.